10th. First item on our agenda is temporary closure of parking spaces. Craig Phillips, Planning Director, requesting the temporary closure of parking spaces on the west side of Franklin Street from 7th to the alley, along with the closure to the center of the street between 7th and 8th Street for the demolition of 709 Franklin.
I'll just begin real quick, and I'll have Joe give some comments as well. So just to clarify, so this is a request for a temporary closure of the parking spaces on the west side of Franklin Street from 7th Street down to the east-west alley next to Art Space. Initially, it would be for the stone salvage project, which would be the removal of the historic stone facade on the building. That's being done by Ton and Blank, and Joe can talk more about that. But we also have a request for the actual demolition of the building, and I just found out about that actually since I submitted the application, so I have the additional dates for that request as well. So initially, the request would be for May 13th to May 15th. So basically the week, next week for the stone salvage. I think we should extend it to the week just in case of weather. So I would say all of next week, so 5/13 to 5, whatever that is, 16, 17, whatever that Friday.
17.
17. And then the demolition, I'm told the request is for the time between May 28th and June 7th. For the same thing, same area, so the closure of the same space at those two different times.
Do we want to build in a little extra time? Because
we could, yeah, we could just to be safe. So, what is that, 5/28 to 6/7, that's we can make it a 2-week time frame just to be safe, maybe. That is 5/28 a Monday? I don't have...
It's a Tuesday.
So let's do, just to be safe, let's do the 27th to the 7th. That's a 2-week time frame. And it's, again, for the same area, the same portion of the parking spaces to the south of 7th. It would be very similar to what we did last time. Initially with the stone salvage, as I understand it, it would just be barricades, individual, separate barricades. But for the demolition at work itself, it would be a fence with the dust, the dust cover and everything that we did when we did the demolition of 701 to 705. I thought that Americo Engineering was going to be here with us this morning. Oh, okay. Steven's here. So I can turn it over to these two gentlemen at this point to talk more about the specifics of the project if you have other questions. But that's just a little bit of background.
Hi, good morning. Steve Travis, Americo Engineering.
Morning.
Yeah.
This is Joe.
Joe Core, Ton and Blank Construction.
So we're here this morning to request closure of the sidewalk and 8 parking spots along Franklin Street during the stone removal and also the demolition project at 709 Franklin Street.
We've been through that,
Okay.
and we have the dates,
You do?
time
Okay.
frames.
Okay.
Yes, for 2 weeks for the demolition, for 2 full weeks, from the 27th to the 7th.
Yep.
And then the 1 week next week for him for stone salvage.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually would like to go out on Sunday night and put up the barricades just to make sure it's open for us on Monday morning. We think maybe 3 to 4 days to take the stone down, and then our part will be over. But I think Craig's right. We should allow next week in its entirety because once again we got some bad weather coming. So
Okay.
well, we look forward to going there Monday and start taking things apart. And I think if we can barricade off those parking spots on the west side of Franklin Street early enough, and like I said, we'll do that on Sunday night. That'll give us the access we need to get in and take stone down without getting anybody in harm's way. So,
Okay.
So then approval would, we would want to request Sunday the 12th through the...
Yes.
yes, yeah, Sunday the 12th through next Friday the 17th.
Yeah. That's correct.
And you're pretty confident about the 2-week time frame for demolition?
Yes. Yep.
Comments from the board?
No.
Questions? Do I have a motion?
Yes. I make a motion to approve the request for temporary closure of parking spaces on the west side of Franklin Street from 7th to the alley, along with the closure of center of the street between 7th and 8th Streets for partial demolition of 701 Franklin Street, the period being 5/12 through 5/17 for the stone salvage and 5/27 through 6/7 for the demolition.
And just to be clear, sidewalk as well. And
Sidewalk
we'll
as well.
redirect patrons to the other side of the street.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Including all the barriers and
Signs and all that.
We have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Cool.
With no other business before us, we stand adjourned.
Yeah.